do the function. Nope. I don't fuck with the fuck shit. Throwing on my dummy fit. Fuck it. I'ma pop out. Today we are watching the Gen Z Gender War by Suburban Will. This should be a very interesting video. Let's go ahead and check this out, man. Go ahead, screen, full screen. I clicked it. All right, there we go. Without further ado, 1, 2, 3.
Gen Z is currently at war, but not the kind of war being fought with weapons or bombs, but something far more dangerous: feelings. We're in the middle of an ongoing divide between men and women that's only getting worse. Women say it's men's fault the world is the way it is today, and men are saying the same thing right back. And the biggest battlefield this war is being waged on is social media. We're in the trenches of the TikTok algorithm, and the fighting continues on the Twitter timeline. And this has been happening for a while now, but sadly, none of the commentary around it has been productive. No one is actually trying to understand the issue. It's just one side trying to tell the other that they're wrong. People are constantly doubling down and turning every interaction between men and women into a pointless power struggle.
Drama is heating up on Love Peninsula. All right, I'ma just holler at your sister then. Oh, really? My sister? I mean, yeah, she looked better anyway. Oh my God, you were so...
I can't stand him. He's so toxic. I mean, honestly, I kind of agree with him. She really did him dirty. Are you serious? He literally manipulated her. Okay, but she was flirting with that other guy in the hot tub.
Bro, there's no way well, not the hot tub part, but how this was starting out, I thought he was about to be talking about Huda and Jeremiah. Like, I was really about to be like, bruh, ain't no way he really found a way to put this in this video.
Was before they were a couple. This is the problem with men. You guys never understand women. Well, women are always the ones making it complicated. Oh, so it's about women now? Well, you made it about men. You know what? You should sleep on the couch tonight. I'm not sleeping on the couch. This is my house. Gen Z is a generation that is constantly battling loneliness, mental health struggles, and a general lack of community. And constantly fighting each other isn't making it any better. We're in this weird spot where we have a bunch of men who hate women, but also want to date women, and a bunch of women who hate men, but also want to date men. So everything is just extremely hostile all the time. The weird part, though, is that each side swears that they have it worse than the other, when in reality, we're facing a lot of the same problems. A lot of men talk about a male loneliness epidemic and say that it's difficult for them to approach women, but many women are also dealing with loneliness and feel uncomfortable and awkward when they interact with men. But instead of coming together, everyone just blames each other. Male loneliness is being branded as a male loser epidemic, and people are trying to make their exceptions to who deserves to feel lonely. I know it's easy to pretend that loneliness only happens to people we don't like, but a lot of people are out there struggling. Drawing lines where they don't belong only takes our focus away from the real issue. Gen Z as a whole are struggling. That's what this entire thing is about.
Man, what y'all know about that goddamn cup of noodles? Y'all don't know nothing about that for real, bruh. Like, Loki, I don't know about that because like we got the actual ramen, you know what I'm saying? Here and there we'll get some cup of noodles, but like I go for my grandma's, we'll get like cup of noodles. But like mainly it'll be the ramen pack. And when you broke, you get creative, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta boil some hot dogs, cut them up, put them in the ramen too. And then like as I got older, like even now to this day, sometimes if I eat some ramen, boy, I gotta put them seasonings in there, bro. We got like some, you know, some pink salt, some pepper, lemon pepper, put a little bit of Lowry's seasoning salt. Sometimes I might throw a little bit of Cajun in there, you know what I'm saying? And what am I missing? Tad bit of butter, like maybe like half a teaspoon, like not even that much, maybe like just a little bit of butter, just a little bit, and some dash seasoning. Now the key here is to not put too much seasoning. Like you don't want too much seasoning, just enough. You know, otherwise that the noodles ain't gonna taste that good because you're just gonna be tasting straight sodium. So, but enough of the talking.
Have the idea that all men want to do them harm, and men have the idea that women are evil demons who want to traumatize them. And to be honest, there's a lot of credit to those feelings. Young people especially are very vulnerable to violence and harm in their relationships. There are dangerous people out there, and it's important that we're cautious about who we trust to be in our lives. But I don't think it's healthy for us to constantly live in fear of each other either. But because men and women don't talk, we automatically assume the worst about each other. However, despite this, Gen Z is still longing for connection. Both men and women are still seeking companionship with one another, but nobody knows how to do it anymore. There's a lot of politics involved in dating now, and a lot of it is the result of negative experiences on both ends. Many women have had a lot of negative experiences with men on an individual level, which causes them to be more wary of men in general. They recognize potentially problematic behaviors in guys, and as a way to protect themselves, distance themselves from men. And many men have also dealt with women who have genuinely tried to do harm to their lives, reputations, and mental health as well, which causes a lot of men to be discouraged from approaching women entirely. And before I continue, speaking as a man who has a primarily male audience, we have to recognize that when it comes to these dangers, women are just a bit more vulnerable than we are. Men can be victims of a lot of the same things that women face. I, unfortunately, have experienced it myself. But we live in a world where women are the ones put in danger more often. It's something to keep in mind because I remember having a conversation with a female friend once that put—
I'm not gonna lie, kind of what I'm not liking with this video is there's so many subtitles and they're not what he's saying. So it's like I'm trying to follow the story on the screen, but then he's talking about something which I guess is pertaining to it in a sense, but it's just not exactly what he's talking about, and it's just very confusing. Cause like it's kind of funny, but then it's like, oh wait, the whole purpose of the video, I'm supposed to be listening to what he's saying. I feel like he should make the subtitles what he's saying. Like if, you know what I'm saying? Cause I just feel like all these other subtitles, they're just flying everywhere, and I don't know what's going on at this point now.
in a perspective for me. It's so hot this summer. I've barely been able to go outside and take a walk. Yeah, the weather's crazy. That's why I go on walks at night. You go on walks at night? Yeah, it's so much better. It's not as hot and it's nice and quiet. You should really give it a try. So you think I should go outside and walk around at night? Yeah, what's the problem? Yeah, a 21-year-old woman outside alone at night. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, yep, you get it now? You're scared of the dark. No, even outside of relationships, it seems like men and women can't even be friends anymore. So instead of talking to each other, we turn to social media to tell us about each other instead. And sadly, this only makes it worse. The problem is that social media exaggerates minor issues and makes them seem bigger than what they are. So we're constantly living under the pressure of unrealistic expectations and made up scenarios that have a lot of young adults walking around with a lot of personal insecurity. And those insecurities make us hypersensitive to any interaction with the opposite sex. Sometimes I'm on my phone and the way some people respond to things on social media, you'd think they killed someone. Just for me to go through the thread and see the most harmless post ever. Even the most simple disagreements end up becoming commentary on both men and women at large. We're throwing everyone in the boxes they don't fit in. And now the things that make us unique are instead used to criticize and classify us. From our dating preferences, sexuality, career choices, and even our hobbies and interests. There's no room for individuality anymore. It feels like everything you say and do is judged against every other person. So if you're too different, you're being performative. But if you're too similar, then you're just like all the others.
Hey, no. Stop barking. Stop. You okay? All right.
Who has any criticism about any woman for any reason is labeled an incel. But a woman who has anything positive to say about a man in any context ever is labeled a pick-me. Obviously, not everyone is like this, but now all of our interactions have become dominated by fear. Women are fearful of men for honestly, a lot of very valid reasons. You can't always tell which guys are gonna go crazy over a polite rejection. And a lot of men are afraid because many women have made it clear that they don't want to be approached. And for the men who at least try to be respectful, the last thing they wanna do is make women uncomfortable. It feels like we're in a stalemate, where if you make one wrong move, it's over. And again, I don't wanna make it seem like bad things don't happen. They do. I'm just saying that for Gen Z, we're putting ourselves under some unrealistically high stakes for every interaction. Oh, are you giving out free ice cream? Yep, We got chocolate and vanilla. Oh, cool. I can pick any one I want? Sure. You can have this nice vanilla cone. It has a great personality and is very respectful. And while some people think vanilla is boring, I think it can make you really happy if you give it a chance. Okay. What about chocolate? Oh, well, chocolate is good, I guess. But while on the surface it seems more fun, it's not really the type of ice cream you want to commit to long term, honestly. Well, I don't know about all that, but chocolate is my favorite flavor. So I'll take that one, please. Okay, well, consider this. Wouldn't your mom be happier with you bringing home a nice, safe vanilla cone? Oh, my mom likes chocolate too. Can I get an extra one for her? You know what? You don't get any ice cream, actually. That's the problem with you women. You never want to give a good vanilla ice cream a chance. That's why you're going to be 40 with no ice cream at all. What was up with that guy? I don't know. I guess he just really likes vanilla. I think a big thing holding us back is that a lot of Gen Z are dealing with commitment issues and insecurity. But these commitment issues aren't coming from us having a lot of options, but rather,
Hey. Come here. Come here. Yo, what is the matter?
everyone is afraid of being taken advantage of. It's why ghosting has become so popular for Gen Z. Because when it comes to dating, people think their feelings are the only ones that matter. It's true that you should put yourself first in your relationships, but it doesn't mean that you should disregard everyone else. There's another real human being on the other side, and they have feelings too. But since we're in this war, the other side isn't seen as a potential partner, but as an enemy to be conquered. There's this bitterness between us where it seems like some of us enjoy seeing the other side lose. Men complain about experiencing feelings of loneliness, and women applaud that and say they deserve it. And women complain about not being able to find a date, and men celebrate that. We're all struggling. But because we see each other as enemies, we can't even respect each other for trying. There are people still fully fighting this gender war while being in a relationship. Hey, you still coming to happy hour with us? Yeah, I'll be there in a bit. Just making my boyfriend some lunch. You're making food
For a man? Girl, it's not 1952 anymore.
Why are you doing that? Because he's my boyfriend and I love him? Yeah, but you work those long 12-hour shifts at the hospital and you're still doing all this for him.
What does he do for you?
Well, yeah, I do work long hours, but when I'm at work, guess who's making me dinner, or walking my dog, or picking me up from the hospital at 4 a.m. when I get off?
50-50 in a relationship isn't just about money, you know.
Yeah, girl, I know.
I'm just looking out for you.
Don't want to have to hit another ex-boyfriend with my car. Wait, what?
Oh, they just called our table.
Hurry up with your housewife duties. Whatever. I'll be there soon. I think for many of us in Gen Z, we're dating for the utility and not because we actually like them. A lot of guys want a girlfriend because they want emotional support, affection, and likely a sexual partner too. And women often want something similar. And while these are completely valid expectations to have in a relationship, they shouldn't be your only reasons for dating. There's a difference between loving someone and loving what they do for you. A lot of people don't actually know what they're even looking for in a partner outside of these things. Some people out there are shallow, but it's probably because they themselves also don't really know what they're looking for in a partner. But just because some people have an opinion, it doesn't mean that everyone thinks that way. A lot of times you end up turning yourself down before anyone else gets the chance to. I know that a lot of men feel overlooked by women, which is why I think that it's easy for some men to harbor a bit of resentment towards them. You're probably trying your best to put yourself out there just to not even get rejected, but completely ignored. Despite your best efforts to stand out, you feel totally invisible, which I think feels even worse than rejection. I have my own experiences with this. In college, there was this girl who had a crush on my roommate, and one day, he told me that she felt like I didn't like her. And I was confused, because I had nothing against her, we just didn't talk. The only time she ever interacted with me were to ask about my roommate and what he was doing. So I told her that she never seemed particularly interested in getting to know me. I'm a nice guy, but I don't think anyone enjoys feeling like an accessory to another person. So I just left her alone.
Bro, I've dealt with so many girls like that, bro. Like, even just more so recent, like last year. So I was at a job that I was at like for like 3 years, bro. Long story short, shirt. That's why I say shirt. Long story short, one of my coworkers, really cool dude, literally married and everything, bro. And this one girl, I guess, from his past, she tried to act like she ain't know him. Bitch, you came to this job and you knew exactly who he was. You better stop it. But shorty was like trying to jump his bones. Like every time she talking to me, it's about him. You don't give a fuck about me. And then like she had the nerve, because like I used to work with like my older brother. She had the nerve to go to him. I think your brother's nervous because he doesn't talk to girls much or something. I'm like, bitch, like I'm in a whole relationship. What are you talking about? Like what the? And like she even asked me that, like, why do you seem nervous or da 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 da? I'm like, woman, what are you like? We ain't got nothing to talk about. What you mean? What are we talking about here? Me and you have nothing in common. And half the time you're talking to me, it's about my coworker.
My roommate ended up getting a new girlfriend, and she stopped talking to both of us. But my roommate's new girlfriend seemed far more interested in getting to know me as a friend, and she was always very inclusive towards me and was always really respectful. And they're still together to this day. Who would have thought that someone who treats others with kindness and respect would have a lasting relationship? It's not about just being nice to someone because you like them, but being a pleasant person to be around in general. You don't have to be performative or a pick-me to get attention from people. You just need to get comfortable expressing yourself around people and doing it in a way that doesn't offend others. Being nice isn't a personality. You're more than just a nice person. You're you. Anyone can be a vanilla ice cream cone, but some people like sprinkles or caramel or a cherry on top. And yes, this is the second ice cream related analogy I've done on this channel. It's really hot outside. Another problem stemming from this gender divide are the endless 50-50 debates. So many people are so worried about being taken advantage of in their relationships that we've reduced them down to something purely transactional. And this leads to a lot of people acting extremely entitled. A lot of guys out there think that just because they pay for a date that a woman owes them something. And a lot of women have an expectation that men have to prove how serious they are about you through spending money. So there's this weird tug of war where each person is trying to get more while giving less. That's not dating. That's what you do at a garage sale. And it's why acting nonchalant is so popular too. People have the impression that the happier person in a relationship is the one who cares the least. That's not how it should be. We should be going band for band with the caring. Chalant contest. Let's see who can care the hardest. I think people are tired of having to clear so many obstacles just to even get to know someone. Nowadays, there's dudes going to other countries just to get dates.
Welcome back to Trad and Chad.
Today, we're joined by a special guest, a real alpha male. Thanks for having me, guys. A lot of guys are struggling dating Western women. Some people think it's because of their lack of self-awareness and inability to change. But we know it's because of feminism. Absolutely. You can blame anything on women. After your third divorce, you went overseas to find your wife. Could you tell us why more young men should be doing that? It's simple, really. Western women have rights, so it makes them think that their opinions matter. Overseas, the women don't ask stupid questions like, who did you vote for? Or, why are you 35 trying to date an 18-year-old? Yeah, I hate when they ask that one.
Western women are just jealous because overseas women appreciate masculine.
What? Bro, why the fuck he had fucking Gojo say that? I hate when they ask that. What, bro? Nah, bro, that's fucking funny.
So I never have to bother with feminine things like emotional maturity or growing and changing as a person. Facts, brother. A good wife should never challenge you on anything ever. She should constantly enable all of your behaviors. Exactly. As an alpha male, I'm already perfect and have no room to grow.
Speaking of grow,
It's time to hear from this week's sponsor, Blue Rhino Male Enhancement Pills. It's the only blue pill you'll ever.
Psych! Skip.
A certain amount of, because when life gets hard, we get harder.
Yes, I gotta remind you.
Bro, I thought you were done watching these guys. Okay, but he was low-key spitting though. Relationships can be scary because they require a certain amount of vulnerability. And opening yourself up to someone means that you have to trust them not to hurt you, whether that be emotionally or even physically. I can't speak for women here, but for a lot of guys I know, one of their biggest fears in dating is being settled for. No one likes being the safe option. the plan B. So I noticed that a lot of male dating advice tends to be some sort of insurance policy against this. And I understand. When you look at yourself and you know you're not the tallest guy or the hottest guy or the guy with the most money, sometimes you might think, why would she choose me first? A lot of dudes are walking around with that thought in the back of their heads, and not for completely imaginary reasons either. That's why a performative man is also one who's deeply insecure. Inside, you don't feel like you'll ever meet the absurdly high requirements to date. So you try to become someone you're not just to get a chance. It's why I think a lot of content creators who are women are popular. I'm not saying these are all pick-me women who only appeal to men, and I'm not saying their viewers are desperate for female attention. I'm saying that many men are used to hostility from women, and sometimes it can be a good thing to hear a woman on the internet sympathize with your experience. I think the problem comes when men externalize those feelings and then take it out on women. And even in communities centered around women, their audiences are still mostly men. So sometimes they can become echo chambers that reinforce a lot of the ideas that push women away in the first place. I think for both men and women, we look for support from our peers to help us cope with our struggles in interacting with the other side. But we lack the proper perspective to fully understand the issues they face. Women don't fully understand the depth of the challenges men face, and men are blind to what women experience on a daily basis. So sometimes we say things that are a bit insensitive to each other's struggles, and that's what keeps pushing us apart. But as bad as things can get sometimes, I don't think Gen Z is completely hopeless. I think the majority of us have all reached the conclusion that dating apps are garbage and honestly a little dehumanizing. Even the companies that claim to give women the power have been trying to shame them into jumping into the sea of desperate men that they've created. We're starting to desire more sincere connections over convenience, and Gen Z is even willing to put in the extra effort to do so. We just don't know how. So when you're a not creepy guy looking to improve his relationship with women, you might not even know where to start. And I think the first step is understanding one key concept. Women are people too. I know it sounds simple, but so many guys seem to think that women are a completely different species, which is why a lot of guys seem to have this idea that in order to get a girl, you have to trick her into liking you. The problem is, women are smart, oftentimes smarter than you. So being performative isn't really gonna get you anywhere. All right, bro, I got my matcha, my black nail polish, and my Labubu keychain. I'm ready to finally get some girls. Sorry, bro, performative method got patched. Already? But I got matcha, patched. Black nail polish, hard nerfed. Even the Labubu, already vaulted, bro. The Labubu method is...
I've never had matcha still to this day. If you like matcha, like coffee or matcha, whatever in general, let me know how does it taste in the comments or whatever. I haven't tried it. Should I try it? I don't know. But if you put it in the comments and you tell me that it's really, really great, maybe I'll try it one day.
Vaulted? Bro, that was my conversation starter. We need a new meta, bro. These girls catch on quick these days. Bro, being a male manipulator is hard. I'm gonna go back to being myself. Excuse me. Did someone here order a record player and 14 Claro vinyls? Oh, you can just take those back. I won't be needing them anymore. It sounds cliche, but you should genuinely just be yourself. And I know that's hard when social media constantly tells you you aren't good enough, but you don't have to fake being someone you're not just to get women to talk to you. You shouldn't need a meta build just to play the game. That ruins all the fun. What I think we're missing are genuine friendships between men and women. I think if we started talking to each other again, we'd have a better idea of what we both expect from each other. I know a lot of guys don't trust women with their more vulnerable side because they're afraid that women will either use that to hurt them or see them as weak and leave them. But I think in reality, a lot of women are very sympathetic to the male experience. Despite the conversation online, I think a lot of men really value a woman's perspective on a lot of things. It can be very reassuring to hear something positive about yourself from a woman who isn't your mom. However, just as men don't want women to take advantage of our vulnerability, we shouldn't take advantage of theirs. A lot of women who are open to bonding with men often have the same issue. As soon as you allow a guy to get close, he decides that he's in love with you. Now it's awkward. If you're a guy trying to become better friends with women,
It be like that though, like, bro. No, I'm just kidding. But I do believe like people mix up infatuation with love. Like love is like feel like it takes a little bit of time to build like love. Like you could say you love somebody, but then it's just like, do you really love them? You know what I'm saying? And is it off rip really? I think first it comes infatuation. You know what I'm saying? You are obsessed with this person, or you draw some type of, you have some type of admiration of, about that person. I think that's really what it is. And then you can learn to love that person. The more that you're learning about them, the more that you're sharing moments with them, that makes sense. But like, I think when you're friends with a girl, which, I think a lot of us guys have dealt with that, and then you build feelings for that girl, you just start thinking like, yeah, man, she's not ugly. First off, you know what I'm saying? Because I hate to say it, but like there are a lot of guys that will be friend girls that they find attractive or whatever, because if you're ugly, they don't want you around them. Because yeah, they're kind of scouting in a sense, and girls do this too. They will have guy friends that are mildly attractive to them. That way, whenever they want to do some BS, like say they want to get drunk and party and kiss one of their guy friends, it's like, now they don't regret it. So it's like, no matter what, it's like you're not really friends in that moment. And the guy, they're just gonna be like, oh yeah, once y'all try to take things to another step, yeah, now the guy's kind of moving too fast. Because guys will move too fast. You know what I'm saying? And when a guy is like that, he actually does like the girl majority of the time. I will say that. At least from my opinion, my stance. I believe that the guy really likes the girl. And that turns off a girl quick, and vice versa. Because like when a girl is like trying to get serious real fast and the guy is in his whole phase, same thing with the girl, They could be like, oh, no, I ain't even, I don't know about all that love stuff type shit, So, I'm low-key just ranting. Because I don't even know if that was on topic or not at this point.
Open to bonding with men often have the same issue. As soon as you allow a guy to get close, he decides that he's in love with you. Now it's awkward. If you're a guy trying to become better friends with women, don't be so desperate that you fall in love with any woman who's somewhat nice to you.
Okay,
sometimes women just want to exist, but they're often in the impossible situation where a guy they thought was their friend ends up confessing to her. And then when she rejects him, he stops talking to her. So you can see how it's difficult for women to become friends with men too. But then the question is, when is it appropriate to talk to a woman you might be interested in? And I won't lie, this is hard because respectfully, women are kind of bad.
It's never appropriate, because if that's the case, then it's like, what's it called? They call it cold approach. Then it's like every guy should just do a cold approach at that point. Never befriend a girl, basically, and then try to get with her that way. You need to show off, like, say off rip, hey, like, I want your number, I like you, da-da-da-da. Which is, like, it's just not realistic in this day and age, because it's, like, you got so many ways to get at a girl with social media. Then you got school, you got work, you got the gym, you got everywhere, which you really shouldn't be trying to get with no girl at your workplace or the gym. Those are like the worst places, like really to get at a girl, bro. Those are the worst ones. But you got stores, like the mall, you got all types of stuff like that, and it's just like you could cold approach the girl, or you could be like, hey, like, I guess you could try to do the friend approach, but I don't know. Nowadays, it's just hard. If there's no type of mutual attraction, then it's like, yeah, bro, it's like you gotta, I guess, cold approach in a sense.
men too. But then the question is, when is it appropriate to talk to a woman you might be interested in? And I won't lie, this is hard because respectfully, women are kind of bad at shooting their shot. Most guys aren't the best either, but women take it to a whole nother level. They either come on way too strong or more often, barely at all. So how was it hanging out with that guy you liked the other day? Did he make a move? It was fine. I just don't think he's interested in me at all. Really? Why do you say that? I mean, I gave him the most obvious sign and he didn't even do anything. Hey, it's been hot lately, so I figured I'd stop and get some drinks on the way here. This one's your favorite, right? Oh yeah, I love these. Thank you. Oh, that is so obvious. Men are so dumb. I know, right? Maybe he likes boys. After years of terrible online dating, I think we all agree that we should be a bit more open to approaching people we're interested in. Someone finding you attractive shouldn't be scary or embarrassing. I know a lot of us hate being perceived at all, but you don't have to ask someone to marry you as soon as you meet them. It honestly could just be as simple as asking for an opportunity to get to know someone better casually. And this doesn't only apply to dating, but to friendships too. You're not going to be someone's best friend day one, but maybe extending an invitation to hang out with someone new could be the start. Women aren't the single solution to male loneliness. It starts with us. And men aren't the single solution to women's problems. I know that when you're a young guy who tries his best to be respectful, it can sometimes be hurtful to hear some of the things women say about men. And a lot of guys like to say, not all men. I agree that it's not okay for women to say some of these things too. But I also think that it's important that we make an active effort to be a part of the solution. So many guys are afraid of seeming like a simp or a pick-me that they fail to stand up for women when given the opportunity. I'm not saying you need to be a white knight and swoop in to save a damsel in distress, but you can help women see men in a more positive light on an individual level by doing your best to make sure they feel safe and comfortable around you. I think you'll find that women who trust you will also stand up for you too. I think it's important that we're more open to understanding instead of arguing, which is why I want to say that I didn't make this video because I have the answer to ending this gender war. I just wanted to share my own perspective as a Gen Z guy on what we're facing. I know some people might think that this video oversimplified a lot of things, and you're probably right, but I hope that I can at least help make the conversation a little more productive. And I know that I focused on the male perspective a lot as well. Unfortunately, IP standing up, so I can't speak too in depth about the women's point of view. So I hope that any women out there can also help contribute to the discussion. Maybe some of those creators I mentioned earlier. People love to talk about how Gen Z is cooked as a generation, but I think people just have a lot to say because we're the first generation growing up with a comment section. But for Gen Z men and women, I don't think we should be on two different teams. We belong on the same team, fighting together against things like loneliness and heartbreak. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Twitter. Peace.
I don't know. I kind of disagree with him. I don't think he really gave his perspective. He didn't really give me any type of any of his personal experiences. And even from the stuff I was reading, it was just kind of like jokey stuff. So like, I don't know if he really gave his perspective or not. He gave a guy's perspective for certain stuff, like how he was just talking about at the end, like old girl was flirting with old dude when she got him the Gatorade, and you know he put, oh, he just thinks that she's being nice, which is like, you know, I don't know if he's trying to say like that's his perspective or because he didn't really like say I or nothing like that. He just kind of put a scenario out there. He didn't say this is my perspective. Like, what? Wait, what? What is he? Like, I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. That video was a little. It didn't really hit. Like, it didn't. I don't know. Like, he kind of clickbaited me. Cause what? Like I said, he didn't really give his perspective on this in a sense. He kind of just yapped, gave me some situations, didn't chime in, didn't put his 2 cents in necessarily, and then went on to like, he just did that like 4 or 5 times. I just realized that. Wow. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. But that's the end of the video. Go ahead, comment, like, share, subscribe. Follow my main channel. It's J Shep, all caps, J. Shep, or at I am J Shep 3. IG as well, same thing, at I am J Shep 3, and whatever else, just check the description for some other pages that I have. Make sure you check out my music. Thank you. Catch you later.